You don't belong at the bottom, and it's time for you to get your butt from down there. It's time for you to stop being comfortable at the bottom. Get your butt up and get to where you're supposed to be. The Bible says he was in a pig pen, and he came to himself, and he went home. Get your butt up. You are a royal priesthood. Get where you belong. Do what you're supposed to do. Live like you're supposed to live.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Aaron Hawkins, and welcome back to the Said Talks podcast. My guest today is returning to the podcast for the first time since May. I welcome you, my cousin, Aaron Hawkins. Aaron, welcome back to the show.
It's nice to be here again, you guys. Hopefully all y'all having a good day today as well.
You were my second guest back in May, and now we're on episode 72. So 70 episodes later, you are back on the show.
I'm just happy that you've been doing this for this long. At the beginning, I was looking at your podcast, and even at when I was I think at 12 or 15, looking at your podcast, I was like, that's a lot. And I was seeing that you're on 72. I'm like, well, you can keep on going forever, really, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, man, I've just been grinding. I've just been hustling, putting this product out here, trying to help people out on a weekly basis. And I'm glad that I've been able to touch people in different states and in different countries. And, you were one of my guinea pigs, and it worked out. So, I'm happy to have you back on.
And I'm happy that's working out for you as well.
Yeah, right off the bat, bro. How was your holidays? You've been back home from Miami for about, a few months now. How has that been for you?
I'll be honest. It's been difficult. Just being cooped up in the house. Not at least in Miami, I was able to walk around and whatnot. But even in Miami, it was a lot of restrictions going out because of COVID. And I'll say even home because of COVID, and all your friends are also stuck inside because of COVID. It's hard socially, but I understand that with patience that there'll be a time where we'll be able to actually go back out and actually reconnect with friends and family.
Yeah.
So I understand the troubling times, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely, difficult, especially during the holiday season, because I had wanted to really hang out with my friends and whatnot. I even wanted to come over and see you, but obviously with COVID and whatnot, there's a few more strands out there that we don't really know about. It's a difficult thing to really put yourself out there and really risk that, because nobody wants to get sick and nobody wants to get this disease and have it spread. So, it was definitely difficult on my part for sure.
Yeah, it was more of, in terms of me, just looking out for my health, but also the health of those that I potentially could risk in that case, yeah. Yeah,
it's a lot of anxiety, too, because you see stories on the internet all the time of different people having the absolute worst case scenario of COVID, and they're in the hospital, they're, cooped up in the hospital for 90 so days. It's difficult, and, it's really, you really want to go out and do it, but you can't really let your guard down, because once you let it down and you think you're invincible and you think you're untouchable, it's then you catch it. And
exactly.
It's hard to really see how your symptoms are going to play out, because everybody's just so different.
Yeah, and it's, as my mother usually says, it's better safe than sorry. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just taking that path, as you know.
Yeah. One of my professors always said, at the end of our class he was like, y'all be safe. This Rona is out here. This Rona don't play. Y'all be safe. And I was like, yeah, it's deadly. I've had family members catch it. I've had friends who have had it. And so it's just really difficult. But what were some of the things that really kept you grounded during your break at home?
Just focusing on mental health. I think I might have talked about it, and I think the past times I've been on the podcast, but just keeping my mental health in check, understanding that there will be better days. So really, for a lot of people, I also promote just focusing on your mental health, because sometimes some people are trapped within the mental scape, and really finding a way to free yourself from that sometimes, or even come in terms of that, really helps. And I've been focusing on that. Really also kind of keeping what I've been doing before COVID, just continuing to do that right now. For example, exercising. I've actually been able to exercise more since I've been inside more, so that's helped. Just doing things that I was able to do before COVID, just kind of still kind of doing that during COVID as well.
Yeah, that's good. One thing I've picked up over the holiday break is like weightlifting. So now it's like I'm in the basement now, lifting weights at like 7 in the morning, doing my push-ups and everything. Actually cooking breakfast. It's like, it's weird. Like every morning I wake up, I'm actually looking forward to going in the kitchen and cooking up some scrambled eggs or boiled eggs and whatnot. It's something that gives me direction and keeps me away from going into that negative headspace, because it's a terrible headspace to be in.
It is. And I believe like the productivity, because really sitting around doing nothing, you'll kind of be trapped in that negative mindscape, as you were saying. So just being productive and keeping yourself busy.
You
keep yourself busy. I really think is the best way to keep or stay healthy during these times as well.
Yeah, you might have touched on it in the last episode. I probably don't remember, but are you a fan of reading?
I'll be honest. As a kid, I was a bookworm. I used to read all the time. I feel like it was because I was surrounded by books because of the schools and stuff like that. But as of late, I don't read that much. However, I do write from time to time. Not really on essays and stuff, but just out of curiosity or just out of boredom, I just might write something like a poem or something. But in terms of books, I don't read as much anymore, but I would at any time be glad to get back into that realm, I guess, yeah.
Bro, that must be something that runs in the family with, like, writing and stuff. I mean, I just finished my 100th poem yesterday. Like, I've been writing poetry since probably I was a senior in high school, then I kind of stopped, and I picked it back up in October, and I've just been, writing all these bangers and stuff. Some of them aren't even bangers. Some of them are just absolute trash, but, I'm getting my thoughts out there, and I'm putting down, how I feel. And so once I wrote out that 100th poem, I was like, man, I really did it. Like, it was something that I didn't think I could do, but in a way, it's helping me out mentally. And so, you never know. One day, hopefully, I'll share my poems with the world.
I'll be there for that. I'll definitely support you on that. Just have a cousin just sharing his poems. I mean, I think we need more poets in the world, more of a way of people expressing their feelings and whatnot. So I'm definitely there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird too, because like I've been really like deep into music also, and music is also poetry when you really sit down and think about it. Like it's just straight up literature when you really sit down and you look at the lyrics, like the stanzas and like the different rhythmic tones with each like word. It's just it really interests me. So it's like now when I'm listening to music, I'm kind of dissecting each line and stanza versus actually like vibing to the music. But of course I'll actually vibe out to it, but I think it's pretty cool how it's almost hidden in a way. We really don't see just the art of literature and how great it is for our society.
And I really think language in general has built up our society throughout the years, so I really think that is one of the main cusps of society is language and how people can share and relate with each other through language as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was trying to do some research on you on your Instagram page, and I realized I couldn't find it. So that means you deactivated your page. This is a topic that very interests me a lot because I have a lot of friends who have deleted their social media. Meanwhile, I'm kind of stuck in the matrix, stuck in that rabbit hole. So talk to me about that. What led you to, take down your page?
Really, it was more of why I had that page. So at first, when I had that page, it was more of socially interacting with people, with friends and family on the page. However, it came over time where it started to break down, as in really what I was seeing, not expecting to see, but what I was seeing on the page really wasn't for me. Really, I didn't need that in my life. I felt like I could still socially interact and stay in touch with people without social media in the times. And there's also it's a thing with me and kind of technology. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with me and technology. As you might know, as of recent, Instagram also changed their terms of policy where they can kind of not consume, but store some of your information in a way, and I wasn't too up on that part. So really, my my leave from social media in general was a move, and really I've been enjoying it. I don't see myself as losing kind of touch of the world. I feel like I still be in touch with the world if I'm able to like keep up with the news. Just reading. Sometimes I even read newspapers online. Surprisingly, my school gave me a free subscription to the New York Times, so sometimes I keep up with the news on that as well. So really, with social media, I think it's a thing not for everyone, but for people who use it or don't use it, I feel like just use it safely in a way where it's not kind of a burden for you to go on, or you feel like you have to go on every single day. And I do have friends who have come to see me and talked about it because they also were surprised by the move as well. And I just say, just take some breaks sometimes. Don't see it as a habit for you to go on social media or it's a need to, but rather take into your heart, take time off, because there is toxicity sometimes on social media that I see, and really we all need a break from that, especially during these times as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say with me, I deactivated my Twitter account, and I haven't been on Snapchat in 4 weeks. So I did that, I've been very clean with that. I don't even think about those things. It's just Instagram and Facebook. Those are the two things that really kind of consume me. Like, I could take 3 to 4 days like away from it, and then if I need to promote my podcast or reach out to someone to be on my podcast, it's like then I have to re-download the app, and it makes me feel in a way like I really don't want to be on here because there's just so much toxicity, and I feel like it takes away my time from doing something productive. So it's like you said, it's a love-hate relationship, but I commend you for being able to delete your social media page in a time when, kids our age, social media consumes us, like TikTok and all that other stuff. So being able to close that down and just truly live your life, I can respect that.
Yeah, and with you and I guess your situation with Instagram and Facebook, like if you're using it for your podcast and maybe even for social aspects, then that's no problem at all. Like to get your exposure out there, like you're going to have, and in this time and space, you're going to have to kind of use some form of social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, shifting gears from that, I want to talk to you about protecting your peace in a lot of ways. Because as you said earlier, there's a lot of negative influences out there trying to steer us away from, the purpose that we have to do on this earth. And so when you think about all the negative influences out in this world, or maybe you have some instances where, you've had some negative experiences in your life, how do you protect your peace?
Well, first and foremost, I always surround myself with people who give off a positive vibe. Like anyone who I feel like gives off a negative vibe or could possibly hurt me in a negative way, like I really don't deal with them in that scape. So I feel like first surrounding yourself with people that you'll vibe with or will have a positive environment with, that's the first thing. Second thing, going back, it always goes back to the mental landscape of yourself. Really having a positive view of yourself and a positive view of what you can do is also a really big, important thing in my life. It's hard sometimes. You can get discouraged. There are people in the world that will try you in that types and times. So really kind of trusting yourself, depending on yourself a lot, and really kind of keeping yourself steady, I'll say. Steady in this point in time really helps me a lot as well.
Yeah. Have you ever had a point in your life where you had a negative perception of yourself that kind of held you back for a little bit?
Really during, I say, high school, I think it was 10th grade, that's when kind of my grades were kind of like shifting. And it was kind of a very weird time because before that, I was like basically a straight A student just going through And really at that time, I haven't been humbled at a point where like, oh, there's no way I can't get an A. And there was a point in time where, what was it? I think it was Spanish 2. Like Spanish 2, on my progress report, I got that first D, and it was just like, wow. Like, and it was a negative experience, but it was a humbling experience as well. So really, kind of learning from the negativity and kind of building on that, kind of helped me as well. And I would want other people to do that. Like, every negative thing is not a negative thing. There is also a positive that can come out from it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the most humbling experience for me with school was my first year of college. Actually, my first semester of college. I wasn't a straight A student, but I was a pretty good A, B student and whatnot. And then once I took math, that's when it was a downhill spiral from there.
Math.
And I got my first D in math since the 6th grade, and it was pretty much the end of the world for me. Like, I just failed this class. I'm not going to get into my dream school. Like, all of this, like, negativity and stuff. And it lowered my sense of confidence, and it lowered my sense of self in a lot of ways because, I used to be this really good student, and now I felt like I wasn't a great student. But it's like you said, a negative is not always a negative. There is a positive in there. And I learned that, I got a D, but, what can I do next time to not get that D? Maybe I should alter my study habits and do something differently, or maybe I should reach out and ask for help on certain assignments versus doing it on my own. So, it's like you said, there's always a positive with every negative situation, and it's just a matter of shifting your perspective.
Yeah, and just kind of making yourself a better person, and kind of with the people around you, kind of having that support as well with it.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say to someone kind of struggling with that negative sense of self, that lower, self-esteem?
I say find something that makes you happy. This world is big enough, and there's a lot of things that you can open yourself to actually do something that maybe puts you in a positive mindscape. And for people who kind of have a hard time with opening themselves to things, I say start off small. As a person who is more of an introvert, going to college was very hard because making friends, you basically have to start all over again, and you haven't done that in like 4 years. So really kind of starting off small, opening yourself to stuff, maybe going to a social event or two each week or something, or possibly even just talk to someone, a counselor or whatnot, but kind of like starting off small and kind of building yourself up there to open yourself to something. Then from there, possibly you can interact and go to more social functions and kind of just find things that interest you and also make you happy as well.
Yeah. One piece of advice I would give is developing a schedule and a routine for yourself. Like, I swear, I've been doing that for a week now. Like, this is officially week 1, like day 7 of like setting a schedule for myself. And it has done absolute wonders for me because it keeps me structured and it allows me to realize what I need to get done in the day. And then once I do it, I'm able to, check it off. Like, for example, I haven't been reading books since September, and I really wanted to read books again, but I just didn't know how to get back into that. And so when I put on my calendar, okay, you're going to read a book today for, 15 minutes. And, I popped open the book. It's called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And it's like 653 pages. And I looked at the page count. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. But, I'm really interested in the book. And I didn't think I would become invested in it. And I wouldn't have been able to invest in it without setting that schedule. So I would say setting schedules and routines for yourself is definitely a bonus for you. It may sound cliche. I thought at the time, like, oh, this is what women do. Like, no man is going to sit down and write a schedule out for themselves. But, it's doing wonders for me. So if it's doing something great for me, I'm sure it'll do great for you or anybody else listening.
Right. And like also with the schedule thing, I had to actually make a schedule for myself, especially during college. it just made everything quicker and easier to do, and kind of put off the stress that the work that I was doing at the time could put on myself. So yeah, making the schedule, I definitely also recommend that for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, it's crazy how we change from high school to college. Because when we're in high school, not that the work doesn't matter to us, but we're just kind of going through the motions just so we can get to graduation day and get out of there. And then, once we get to college, it's like, this is serious now. Like, we have to really put in some work to get to that next point to getting our degree. So I think it's interesting. From the people that I've talked to from our age group, they've been able to, turn themselves around and turn their lives around and become more driven than they were, let's say, 2 to 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of like a very fast time for you to mature, or at least if not mature, kind of learn about your surroundings. Because it is hard for people to make that transition from high school to college. So it's kind of a time where most people are like, all right, something has to change. Or they recognize, oh, something has to be dealt with this situation. And really, I think for people, for like me and you, to actually be able to understand that and adjust to the situation helps for right now. And also it kind of prepares ourselves for kind of that next step in life with ever change may come as well.
Yeah. How was your semester, last semester? I said semester twice, but how was that for you, given that you were away from home and then you had to come back abruptly? How did you adjust to all of that?
Really, it wasn't too bad of a change at that time. My school was actually able to kind of make a smooth transition during that time, so that helped me out a lot as well. And it was actually a later part into my semester, so like most of the work was done. Really, it was more about me getting ready for finals, I think, at that time. So it wasn't too bad at the time, but really kind of adjustment. I'll be honest, the adjustment to like kind of the test and work for finals was hard, as the teachers some of the teachers were kind of doing one thing, and then some other teachers or professors were doing other things. So really, I think that was the only obstacle I had to face. But other than that, my school was able to smoothly transition through it, and I think that helped me really.
Yeah, that's good for you. It's nice to know that they're willing to accommodate you and work with you to help you out. Like, I can definitely agree with the different professors wanting different things. Like, I had one class where I had a final exam, and for 2 other classes, I had to do PowerPoint exams and give a recorded presentation and just drop it off in a discussion box and not even have to, record it to the class or really give it to the class in person. It forced me to really think outside the box, but in a way that's something I can respect, because it wasn't something that was, structured and something that was the same, even though I probably would have preferred, for something to be the same. But, I like thinking outside the box and doing different challenges.
Yeah, and I think even if, like, say, my school wasn't able to support me, I felt like for me at that time, already putting myself in a comfortable situation with my schoolwork and whatnot, I think I would have been able to adjust smoothly as well with that transition.
Yeah. Are you ready to go back to Miami since this is your last week here in Maryland?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's getting a little cold here, so I'm kind of missing that warm weather right now. I know it's probably like 73 degrees down there right now, so I'm kind of missing the weather, but really it's kind of weird because there's been times where I say high school, middle school, I would just hate to go to school and actually learn, because I just felt like it was really just busy work and whatnot. But now kind of in college, where I'm basically learning stuff every single day, I'm prepared to go back. I understand that for me individually, it helps as well, because it makes me more dependent on myself and able to kind of build my, I guess, independence and caring for myself and actually taking up for myself, being more accountable for myself. So I'm definitely ready for that, and I'm definitely ready to go back to Miami as well.
I'm the same way. I took 2 winter classes that was only for three weeks, and that probably sounds insane to some people, but it's something that continues to, keep me structured and keep me in that school element. So that way, when I actually do go back and I'm taking more classes, it's like, I'm more prepared for it, and it's not as if I don't remember what to do for writing a paper or doing a discussion post. It's like I've already been doing it for the past 3 weeks. So I definitely agree with you, and I kind of like school in a way. It forces me to be more, dependent on myself, and I just like to learn. I just love learning different things. I like being able to pour myself into my work at times. The one thing I would like to work on is, allowing more self-care and rest for myself. I feel like I'm in a season right now where I should be resting in a lot of ways. So it's like, who knows? But I like school in a lot of ways. I just like to learn.
Yeah, no, I believe what's it called? There's a saying I go by, like, you learn something every day, and I feel like really going off that with learning, like you were saying, there's a period where you feel like you need a rest. So, and you saying that, I really think just balancing out for me, because I know there's times where I get tired or like stressed from the work I'm doing. So I always have a time at that point where I find rest and just kind of like center back on things and kind of just prepare myself for like maybe a project that might be coming up or a big assignment I have to do. So basically the balance between learning and relaxing is what I usually do when I'm at my MSA.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, but I've been kind of tipping the scale with balancing it out. One thing I like to do is I like to schedule out at least an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours of just meditating / taking a nap, because usually I'm up really early in the morning doing assignments or, working out, eating, and in that time period I do need to rest my mind. So being able to, take at least 2 hours out of my day to really just sit down and relax, it helps my brain out in a lot of ways, helps it relax, so that way when I get back up, I can tackle whatever I need to get done. So by the time it's nighttime, I can go ahead and go to sleep at 9 o'clock, 9:30.
Yeah. And I say, like the 20-minute naps I have in between classes just help.
Bangers.
So I tell you, those 20 minutes just help you for the rest of the day. So like really just relaxing or just taking, even if you have just like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I say for those who have trouble with that, just take that time to relax. It will help. It will help a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so now that we're in 2021, what are some goals that you have for yourself this year, whether that's with school, athletics, or, your personal health, your mental health? What are some of the things that you would like to achieve this year?
I just want to really one goal. I think one main goal I have is just continuing what I was doing in 2020. Even with 2020 being really the hardest and most challenging, confusing year I've ever experienced so far, I felt like I was able to do a lot and stay productive enough where I'm happy at the results that have come out. So really keeping up that consistency in 2021 is really the one goal I have so far. I feel like a lot of my mental escape is positive as of now. I'm keeping in good health as of now, right now. So I just want to keep that up heading into this year, yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Just trying to maintain my mental health, my mental well-being. Of course, keep up with my physical health as well. Make sure I'm healthy and everything, but also making sure that I'm taking care of myself and resting when I need to. Obviously, new semester's coming up, trying to get that 4.0 GPA, and and of course, 100 podcast episodes. That's the goal, and that's the plan.
And I'm definitely looking towards that. I have been like every now and then checking in on your podcast and actually listening to them when I like see some names that I recognize. But I'm really hoping for you to get to the 100th, because I'll say at like the 15, 12, like I said before, the 15, 12, I was like, this is a lot. and for you just to hit that 100, that would be good. That would be really good to see. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna celebrate on that day. Of course, legally, I'm gonna celebrate, but it's gonna be a celebration when that day comes.
I'd be happy to see that day as well.
Yeah, man. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for your time today. I had a great time catching up with you, and we'll definitely keep in touch. And you never know, I might bring you on the show again for another topic.
Hey, anytime, really. I actually enjoy podcasts. I'm actually a big lover of podcasts, if you would say. So anytime, just hit me up as you do usually, and we'll definitely keep in touch as well. Definitely.
All right, for sure. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep. This wraps up this edition of the Set Talks podcast. Y'all remember to stay blessed and stay encouraged.